Hello, it is Dr. Jimmy again. Greetings. This is the lovely day, I think it's the afternoon, yes, of Friday, August 25th, 2017, which means Halloween Horror Nights will begin in Orlando and Hollywood in just 3 weeks. Exactly. Ooh, you're getting close, kids. Yes, can't wait. Of course, in Japan it starts earlier, 15 days. That's Saturday the 9th, that's Saturday week after next. It's 2 weeks and 1 day. But in Singapore, it's 5 weeks from now. It's still a month and 4 days. 5 weeks, 35 days on Friday, September 29th. They get theirs last. But first, T-shirt of the day, and this is a wonderful shirt I just got, featuring Trick or Treat and Sam's Pumpkin Patch. I love this one, it's quite lovely. Had to get something for Trick or Treat since, of course, we're getting a Trick or Treat scare zone, but that's another story for another video. This video, I'd like to talk about recent revelations concerning the event of Universal Studios Singapore, Halloween Horror Nights 7. Yes. In the past week or so, a lot of stuff has been revealed about that event, and I have to get started. First of all, we knew they were going to have 7 icons. We can't even get one in Orlando, but they got 7 icons in Singapore. And we'd already found out about the first icon, Malice, who's associated with a haunted house called Death Mall. Well, 1 week ago in Singapore, last Friday the 18th, but actually it was a little bit later in the evening, earlier in the evening of Thursday evening, when we saw the stuff go up on the website for the second haunted house, Make the Cut, a haunted house themed to K-pop, Korean pop music and boy bands and girl bands and all of that, but a strange version of K-pop called gore pop. Excuse me, it's starting to rain a bit and the roof is not totally secure in this room. Hate to say that, therefore I'm going to need to make an adjustment. Alright, that's been done. Sorry about that. Never mind, but let's just continue. So, I may have to speak up a bit over the tin roof. I wish it wouldn't rain just now. It's the only chance I have to make this video. But, it was released, and there's a bit of backstory on the Resort World Sentosa blog, which, of course, Resort World Sentosa co-owner with Universal of Universal Studios Singapore. They talked about the haunted house, Make the Cut, and gore pop. Apparently it's a dream of it's an idea brought up by one particular entertainment manager for a firm called Kill Entertainment. I suppose that's an acronym, probably stands for a Korean Investment Leisure or something, LLC. I have no idea what it stands for, but Kill Entertainment, a fellow named Kim Dae-young. Sort of a bit of a pun there. Anyway, he's come up with the gore pop concept, and apparently the people in gore pop, the pop stars, are mutilated facially in rather ghastly ways, all cut up and stitched back together, and that's become a new aesthetic. And people, the fans and the groupies, they want to look just like their idols, and so they start mutilating themselves. They're encouraged to do that. Various reality show competitions and things trying to make the cut. Get it? Well, this house was supposed to feature one of the 7 Sinisters, the 7 Deadlier Sins, the icons for the event, narcissism, and according to the blog, aka Raven. Now, the picture that came up on the website showed this nice looking Korean man, and he's got a rather sinister looking surgical suturing needle, wickedly curved like a fishhook almost, with a little red cord from it, a little red thread to do that sort of nasty stuff. And then in another picture you saw half his face was all horribly mutilated and sewn back together in that ghastly style. Is this Raven? Thought it was. Actually posted stuff about that being the second Sinister, the second icon. Then, oh my God, I'm wrong. Because the next day, Nicholas Yao Dejeki, or Dejeki, whatever his name is, over in Singapore, the man who's the blogmeister who covers this event so marvelously. Dejiki.com, that's DEJIKI.com. Look it up. You can find out more about Singapore's event there than anywhere else, even on their own official stuff. He's very good. He came up with a leaked picture of all 7 icons early. And so now we know what they look like. Narcissism is not that man. It's a girl. Raven is a girl. One of the girl pop group, the K-pop, gore pop group called the Split-Face Girls. Slit-Face Girls, which will be featured in a show at the event, as well as appearing in the haunted house and the scare zone with all the icons called Pilgrimage of Sin. So we know that Raven's a different person, a female, and there's a picture of her that Dejiki posted, looking like a girl, pretty young girl with the different colours, stuff in her hair, but also horribly mutilated facially through her narcissistic want to be in and trendy, I suppose. It's kind of, you know, it kind of pokes fun at people's desire to be hip and trendy, even if they have to mutilate themselves in order to do it. It's kind of clever, really. So she's the actual icon. And the other fellow who appeared on the website, I'm guessing, must be Kim Dae-jung himself. Kim's like one of the most common Korean names, by the way. He's no relation to that bad guy in North Korea, I'm sure. And even though it's the first, it's actually the surname. Yeah. Kim is like the last name, even though it's first, because in Asia they put the last name first. Or really, we put our first name last and last name first, because they've been doing it longer than we have. They had surnames while we just were called, you know, Thor or somebody, or, you know, Ethelfrith or something like that. We didn't even have last names in Europe, and they had them in Asia long before we did. So they came up with the idea of family names and put them first, and then we started doing family names sometime much later, in the Renaissance or whenever it was, and we put them last. So really, we're the ones that are backwards, because they had them first, so I would say that. Getting on with it. So that's who the actual icon is, the girl, not the fellow that we saw on the website. But then Dejiki also revealed all the other icons as well. The next one was Cruelty, and Cruelty is indeed the Empress Qing. And there she is in her imperial splendor, but looking very cruel and harsh. And then the next one after, and she'll be in the house, of course, the Terracotta Empress house. And then the next one after that was Manipulation, known as the Midnight Man. Except for Malice, they all have another name. It's like a voodoo shaman, voodoo high priest. Possibly, if I can't tell because the picture is very small in it, and it shows it face perhaps in makeup, maybe even almost suggesting a shrunken head with a big headdress. But if he is meant to be black, he would be the first African icon ever. I'm not sure if he'd be African American. It depends on whether or not the house is set in Africa, or if it's set perhaps in, say, the bayous of Louisiana. Just where is this voodoo priest? Is he in Haiti? Wherever he is, though, it's the first icon ever who's black. So that's interesting. If we get a better look at him to see for sure, because the face is all white because of the makeup on the face. You know, white is often the color of death in many other cultures, and paint your face white to look scarier. That was the fourth icon. That will be revealed fully next week Friday on the website, or actually next week Thursday night. So September 1st, officially, in the morning of September 1st in Singapore, will be the evening of August 31st here. So it's a neat thing because of time zones, right? International date lines and all of that. So after that, Obsession, who's in the house inside the mind, is called the Killer, and he has sort of a strange, almost alien-like face with long, nasty fingers, whether that's his actual appearance or he's wearing a costume, and he appears in your mind, but it looks very sinister indeed. The others, the other two, of course, don't have haunted houses. The one, Deception, has a show, and the other one, Perversion, has a scare zone, and of course both will appear with the other 5 in the Pilgrimage of Sin scare zone as well. So Deception is Dr. White, and he's a plague doctor with the white hat and the beak and the goggles and the costume, all in white, like Spy vs. Spy's White Spy. And the last one, Perversion, is Father Time, who's in the Happy Horror Days scare zone. He's got a long robe with a hood and a rather skull-like wizened face, like an old wizard who's turned into a skeleton, and holding an hourglass. So those are the actual revealed 7 icons for Halloween Horror Nights 7 in Singapore. Now on the website, last night, which of course was this morning in Singapore, they gave the fuller reveal for the 3rd haunted house, Terracotta Empress. A terracotta, and revealing that cruelty indeed took the shape of the Empress Qing, slew the emperor by lopping his head off. Information is found both on the website and also from the blog, because it gives you a little more information about it. So she is indeed the icon, looking quite beautiful, and they said that cruelty disguised as the Empress wrapped in porcelain. So you see a picture of her with her beautiful fine skin, but another picture of her true aspect where it's more ghastly and hideous and evil and demonic. But so this evil empress, and there's also a picture of a victim being tied down, and she's torturing him, and all you see is her hand reaching toward his face with a really, really long fingernail pointed right at his eyeball. Yes, do not piss off this lady. She's cruel, she's vindictive, she's murderous and torturous. And there were games, of course. The game for narcissism last week was actually rather simple. You pick an eye, a nose, a mouth you'd want for your new face. If you get the right 3 combination, bang, you win right away. There's a scary picture that shows up, and then you get to, post it to Twitter or Facebook. By the way, whenever I did these tweets, there's too many damn characters, and I have to go around abbreviating Halloween Horror Nights down to HHN helps, and then changing tickets down to like TCKTS or something. Just try to abbreviate here and there to try to, so it will fit my tweets. I don't know why, if it's going to be a Twitter, why it would be too long for Twitter. That makes no sense to me. But nevertheless, it worked, and so I got all of that. The game for released last night, it shows a hand that's being tortured, and there's like a graph of different symbols, and you're supposed to pick 1 of 4 different keys, and it's actually very simple. I got the right key first time, and it says you're safe for now, so you win that, okay? And again, there's no real prizes or anything, except a chance to enter sweepstakes, which I'm not going to because it doesn't include any airfare. I mean, what's the use of winning tickets to Horror Nights in Singapore if you have to actually spend thousands of dollars to get there? I was thinking about actually going this year. It looked like I might be able to, but then I realized there's a lot of logistical problems this year, and I really can't make the trip this year. I'd want to, but maybe at a future time. So perhaps next year I'll get to Singapore, but not this time. So it's not going to happen this time. But closer than ever before this year. Anyway, so all of that was revealed. They also had a few other nifty little things for us. There was a couple of little videos. Oh, and then in Singapore city itself, in the middle of, it's a city-state, right? In the middle of town, they set up a memorial for the victims of the mall disaster from the Death Mall house. And it looks like a real monument with all the names of the people who have been killed in the disaster, and places to put flowers and candles at the bottom like they always do. And it's right in the middle, and it looks so real, people started thinking it was a real memorial. But if you go around back, you can see this advertisements for Halloween Horror Nights 7. You're like, oh, it's a publicity thing. And in the video, a person it's done POV, and like someone's coming out, going home from work, and they're going through the street, and they see that monument, and there's a woman in white in front of it, kneeling in front of it, and her hands are up like she's, paying homage or praying or something. And as you get closer, she's putting her hands on the monument, and the video kind of peers toward her, and then she turns her head, and her face is a ghastly grimace. She's a horrible ghoul. And, so jump scare, very good. The other very short video they released last night features the Terracotta Empress herself, and it's just a rather atmospheric, showing her posing and scary, introducing the character. So it's lots of fun from Singapore. So I'm really looking forward to hearing more about it, and of course we'll find out more. They'll be revealing more about these other icons over the next few weeks. At some point they're going to announce the scare zones and shows and showcase those icons as well. It should be quite exciting. 7 icons at one event. Good heavens, that's never been anticipated before. Most we ever had as event icons at one place at one time was 4 back in 2006 when Jack and the storyteller director and the caretaker shared the duties for Sweet 16. But to actually have 7 icons as the event icons themselves at one event, that's unprecedented. So it should be amazing, and everything I've seen and heard about the event so far just boggles the mind, because they do the stuff they should be doing here, but they don't do here so much anymore. And I was really just delighted at everything I've seen about this event in Singapore. And I will keep you posted as I find out more. But I think that covers pretty much everything that's been revealed so far for Universal Studios Singapore Halloween Horror Nights 7. I have more to talk about in another video.